What's that? I hear fire alarms. Um, yeah, I'm just here looking crazy, everybody. Well, let's try some stuff. What's this? I'm gonna be dreamy. Glamour. Can't fix this. What's this? Hmm. I don't have nothing else to do. Um. Hmm. Yep, I'm just here playing around with stuff. Literally, that's it. What's this? Who knows if I'll even like keep it up, right? Um. What is wow? I don't know. I can't like really hear myself that well. The shit, the music, like. What do these do? Um, actually, posted is on right now. I don't ever just like mess around with the phone anymore. So, I'm trying to see. This was glamour. this this was glamour. This is not glamour. So if you don't really like know me from Twitch, then this is dreamy. Oh my god, that's how I feel. That's my oh my god, what my illness does to me all day, every day. I'm literally just here. But if you're not busy, hi Brendan. No, actually I don't read tarot cards. I'm usually like I don't do lives with people. Thank God. Okay. I haven't done lives where I open my chat um since Twitch. So it's been a couple of years. Yeah, I don't know. How how old are you? I'm 49 this year. I used to do this on Twitch, like back and forth with people. But I was a little bit I was aggressive, I'm not gonna lie. 23. Oh, nice. My son would it's kind of in your peer group. That's dope. I'm just on here playing around. Really. I'm not going to say anything about YouTube. I don't live in a shed, but I do live in a piece of shit. No, I'm fucking lying. Yeah, well, yeah, right. Yeah, right, guys. No, and no, this is my garage actually. My serenity spot. Serenity now. Serenity now. What was that on? It was on a show. I'm just seeing, I literally just press stuff to be pressing it. Um, in my garage, this is my art zone, in my sanctuary. It used to be. It was my sanctuary. And then the government came in and invited a lot of motherfuckers here. A lot of motherfuckers. And I'm in New England. Okay. I love fuckery. On Twitch, I was all about fuckery. Okay. I love fuckery because I have a son who falls in the fuckery category. He started gaming when he was 3. I mean, he was gaming hard. So I'm used to like the trolling and shit. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So we got Master up in here, Brendan. It's good. It's all good. It's all good. I remember 23. 23 was the shit. Nice. We have a lot of Polish people here in Connecticut. A lot. Yeah, not to be rude and everything, but the mafia people I know in my life love the Polish women. That's where I'm gonna put it. I go places and I see beautiful Polish prostitutes like making that money. Lots of authentic Polish food here. The fuckery. The fuckery that the young people do. 23 is nice though. I'm gonna live in a studio. It's no good anymore. That's bad. That's fucked. That's fucked. Or like you're leaving because you're tired of all the bullshit and you realize that you could actually live out of your car. Like, and that's not a bad thing for young people. Ain't nothing wrong with that. This is the wild, wild west. Okay? 23. Okay, I got you. My son wants us to sleep in, which he's inheriting the car, so he just considers it his car. Anyway, even though he wrecked the other one. But so it will be his. He wants us to like live out of the it's a Volvo wagon. And we don't like we put the back seats down, and Volvos have mad space. So he wants us to like be bums and stuff while living off of the family estate. So he done, he was born in 2005. It's a different generation. Get the fucking fuckery. The fact that though, that you can weld and you have an actual technical skill is the best hustle. You could do if you're welding, you could do anything. You can go anywhere in that car and pick up jobs. Whether you know what? This reminds me of when I was doing GTA role play. That was the best. That was the best. Not that it's good to say that I was molested and raped quite a few times on there, but it's GTA. It comes with the territory. My son would be like, "Mom, why do you?" I'm a gamer, so it rolls off your back. It is welding. I, come on, Brendan. Come on. Welding? Do you know how much money? I made sure that I bought my son welding stuff. Wow, he was in like 12, 13. There's so much money you can make with welding because people are just like, don't have any technical skills in this country. And that's, mm-hmm. All right, master. Interesting. Master of your own shit. There's nothing wrong with that. Had to skip my lunch breaks practice. Okay. It's okay. School is good. School is good, but it's not everything. I homeschooled my son, first through 12th grade. It's not everything. So much more fun than being in the prison system. I don't care if you're in the suburbs like I was, it's still the prison system. Yeah, like Pastor Dean. Hello. I did go to, oh, you did go to welding school. So you've got the full technical skill. Man, that used to be a part of, I'm in Connecticut, so, that was a part of what we did in junior high. Junior high was 7th and 8th grade, right? We did all of that, all the dangerous things. Um, we had a big workshop. People would put cars together, take them apart in junior high school. So that shows you how bad things are. Like, they let us use the dangerous machines, the big industrial ones. Like, if you lose a finger, you lose a finger. That's what they used to talk to you back in the day. Should have paid attention. If you lose a finger, it's gone. Right. This Irish family, Irish lumber family, ran all of our shop stuff, and they didn't play around. It was just like, this is the real shit. Oh, this is the real tools you're going to be using. I don't care that you're 12 and 13. If you cut off your fucking finger, it's not our fault. It was just fucking like that. Like archery, we had archery, and the boys would go around aiming at the girls. Yeah. When we did football, can imagine the contact, because young boys love to make contact on the field. Golf, that was dangerous when they did golf. Like, it was always dangerous. I just be like, nope, nope. The dudes was just like hitting balls at us. Yeah, the strength. We can't hit them back the same. Everything they turned into a battle. But that's young guys, right? Let me see where I'm at. Okay, good. Yep. You think we are? For 8 years and wanted to keep school for being. I'm for the fuckery. I'm sorry. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that was wrong. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm for the fuckery. I still want nobody to die. Okay, if no one dies, I'm for the fuckery. The stuff people would say to me as me and my son were doing stuff, especially his grandmother, like, y'all gonna burn some shit down. Maybe, but we didn't. Shit. I'm old though, I'm almost 50. But playing football 8 years, okay, and then kicking ass. Maybe, and then did you realize later that, actually football was all right, but you don't really want to be, bending over all in everybody's face all day. Maybe you realize that shit. Football ain't it. Was football it in the end? It's not that great, really. It's not that great. Think exact. Okay. Okay, you were serious. Okay. Because I have a lot of, unfortunately, I say it that way for a lot of reasons. NFL people in my family. Hmm. They know where to go. They go to specific towns looking for specific people. Brendan, you should probably know. No, but that was your passion. Okay. Interesting. And so it was your passion. You're not going to do it, but can't remember if it was Brendan or whoever was welding. Wait, Brendan, were you welding? Yeah, 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 yeah. When an amateur boxer. See what I'm saying? 395 out of 400. Exactly. Because that's what boys, I'm sorry, that's what boys should be doing. I mean, that's what they're pulled to do. Pulled to do. And that's amazing. Look at your lineage. Look at your lineage, right? Look at that. Right. Yep. What are you talking? And Brendan, I think you said you're 23. What are you talking about? You're just getting started. You're just getting started. Whatever it is that you just told me about, I can assure you, you're going to accomplish something close to it. Even if it's not exactly the thing, you're going to accomplish it. I kid you not. It's really not that, it's not that deep. And you're going to look back and that will not have been like your greatest accomplishment. Like, damn, I did it. And now, like, I did it. It's like that at 23. You can do everything and people will forgive you. You can break laws and people will forgive you. I'm not saying to break no laws. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying live it, live it, live it hard, hard. You know, I know y'all young people live it hard. That's not right. Exactly, normal, fucking normal. There is nobody who is normal, and that's the problem with the school prison system. There's nobody who's fucking normal, and your fucking teachers, the majority of them were probably shit and can't do half of what you can do. Yeah, I fucks not with like pay all the taxes for it, but I like libraries though. Go to the libraries, but the public school prison system, or just even I paid for private school for my son for preschool and kindergarten. Like it's a prison regardless. It's a prison regardless, you know. But I was lucky to be able to be home. We did a lot. We did a lot. And I was sick, and we did a lot. We participated in stuff like when Occupy Wall Street came out. Because he was homeschooled, we were able to do whatever. Roll around, the country and just do shit we wanted to do. I'm not a wonderful mother. Nobody, listen, this is for everybody. I don't care your background. I don't care anything. A parent, I haven't seen a parent who gets over a C plus. I have never met a parent who I would give above a C plus. Nope. What? Okay. Okay. Well, Brenda, and you know what? Unfortunately, it's so normal. But nobody cares about us. Nobody cares about the people living in the US. They just care about the fake narrative they push to everyone. Because what you just wrote is an everyday thing now. Because we're just out of touch with actually being people and not a prison system. Citizens are prisoners. Citizens are slaves. So, what your mother did was actually kind of normal. Unfortunately, there's a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people over the years. Been in groups with women who we were like in our 30s and their brothers were still using them for satanic not sacrifices, rituals. I look around the room like, you still letting them do that? Like, yeah. Like, oh, okay. And, let's see. Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, the problem is I'm happy that you're saying what you're saying, because unfortunately this entire land mass is that it's so your story. Remember, like, and there was a time where I would read these things and I'm like horrified, but it's happening so much every day that I'm no longer horrified. But at the same time, I want the people to know that it's a part of the everyday life, and some of it is systemic. Some of it is systemic. And whatever it is, I too wish that, number one, I wish that the system was different, and that there was someone else who could be in place to adopt you. Yep, that's the best thing I can say, because I know people they've got, of course, both parents in the home, and the parents look good on paper. They look good in church. They look good everywhere. Unless you spend enough months and time with them to then find out that these people are fucked. I don't care what. People in the ghettos and hoods can turn out better. That's where we're at in the other portions of this country. So I wish there had been someone else who could take you. But unfortunately, as I was told by a lot of people, when they were actually finally adopted, it was shit. It was worse. Like, it was worse. And then I know people personally who would call themselves, on their parents, and the people would let them know, we'll come and get you. But especially if you're like, I'm thinking about the people I knew in New York, because I'm in Connecticut, so it's right next door. I'm always over that way. They just were honest with them. If we take you out of this home, the home we're going to put you in is not going to be any better, and it might be worse. So I know a lot of people who lived through it and then just prayed for the best when they got out of their parents' homes, or got kicked out early, luckily. Like when they're 16 and a friend, it's always like, someone from school. It's always a mom who helps other kids. My grandmother was that kind of person. I have a lot of people in my life that are uncle because my grandmother took them in, and they were just like everyone else, all my other uncles. Oh, yeah, Brendan, listen, I don't even try to front. That's very nice of you to say. I'll put it that way. I'm 49. I accept it. My eloquence and my intelligence. You give me long enough and everything is just a swear word. Yeah, pretty much. The females, well, Brendan, the females aren't really even females. Yeah. I watch what my son is going through. That part, exactly. But I watch what my son is going through, I'm going to say this because I'm talking to a younger generation in confidence, okay? So I worked for one of the top environmental corporations. So I'm that person who knows all about whether or not the conspiracies, anonymous and everyone put out there, were real. I was the keeper of the keys, okay? The only person, the only person in the corporation with the keys to all of the offsite banking boxes and stuff. I also did technical writing. My boss, let's just say I sat with them all. BP, top notch lawyers, the main BP people. I'm not talking about somebody who's working on some, no. So then I'm going to say, because of that, I know for a fact that, because we did remediation, we did all sorts of things. I would tell people on one side of the building, we kill you, and on the other side of the building, we keep you alive. Yeah. So dioxins, polyester, all of these things are just prevalent. The amount that's in the air that the EPA allows, the report finally came out. I'm happy, even though I've been gone from there for about 15 years. The report finally came out that yes, indeed, the dioxins that, because we tested the air, we would get shipments of air in, and we ran tests. We had our own in-house chemistry lab. That's the best for many reasons. Like sitting with people that you really shouldn't be sitting with because, we may be going into court, right? Maybe going into court and they're coaxing you and teaching you. And so then you find out that, okay, the dioxins, like what happened in Ohio, right? They drove that truck through America all the way to the South to get rid of it. Dioxins can cause, and the easiest way to say it is homosexuality. I could go down what happens in the body and what happens, but you can literally, Brendan, wake up. You can wake up, have been perfectly straight, and be gay, and you're 60. You could have been perfectly straight your entire life now and wake up and be gay. Polyester, because we know about the cotton. Of course, you did. Whatever they've taught you, because whatever they taught, trust me, it's mostly lies about the cotton. Because I'm an Aborigine from this land, my people had a tribe, so we were already here. We weren't from Africa and everything, okay? But once people would no longer pick that cotton or do anything for free, they switched over, got in cahoots with China, and the polyester phase began, and people loved it, the 60s. Yeah, I was molested and raped in the 70s. Kindergarten through fourth grade. They say, which I can't be for sure, that we were the most molested generation, those people born in the 70s, because we had no voice and it was something you didn't tell at all. Like how you're even telling me right here, you didn't do that back in the day. You told no one. The children told no one. So, yeah. Yeah. OCD. Okay. I can't stop. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I'll say this. If porn is your problem, you're doing good. Now, that part, yes. And not because, uh, Weed in its old form was different, right? And so what we're having now is something totally different. They're going to give us what they want to give us when they legalize it, and it's not the old weed. Yep, it's just yeah, rap music like that's not that's that's industrial music. That's all. That's not real. That's not anyone's music. That's propaganda. That's people who exchange favors in order for their egos to be on a big screen for whatever reason. And that's that's a beast. I did work in the music industry. Yeah, behind I did work in the music. Yeah, I've been in parties with Puffy. Yep, I've got. We called him Puffy. I know everybody's saying P Diddy, but I've got pictures. I was on the scene. I was around the worldwide, getting it in. Yeah, Otis Redding, right? Because so this is a lot. Like I used to. Okay, so Otis Redding, the vibration of the music, the frequency is what does it. And I'm saying this because I worked in an environmental corporation, right? And frequency in the air can be modeled just like anything else in the air can be modeled. We did air modeling. Puffy, listen, and he was always the same. He was like what they're showing people. That was always him. Yeah, that's not new. It's not new. It's just the thing to distract us from the shit we need to get down to here as non-governmental people. I'll say it that way. Because we outnumber them. Yeah, it's no big deal. Like when in Canada, when it wasn't raining, because we can make it rain and we can make it not rain. hmm So, do you remember if they're called? I don't know. In Canada, is he called the Prime Minister or whatever? Was it a couple of years? But I'm getting lost in time, so I'm getting older. But he thanked. He didn't say he thanked God or he thanked Apollo or the stars or Mother Nature for bringing the rain. He thanked actual people because they had cut Canada off. It was a war campaign. And so he finally, once it was over and they beat his ass into submission, they let it rain. And he thanked them on TV. I thank you for the people who sent the rain. hmm 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 I mean, the the crazy part is when they don't give you the rain. Meanwhile, you see Bill Gates buying out all farmland and telling the people there, I want you to take your flock and kill them, put them to sleep. And I watched them gas every animal, millions of animals, perfectly healthy, perfectly well. Gas them to sleep. Yeah. I want you to buy the new shit they're going to put out, like the worms. During the pandemic, since my son homeschooled, right? We were out instead of in. I'm like, okay, so we're being out every day. And we would be able to talk to the owners of different companies and stuff and get all the inside scoop. They told us everything because they were pissed at the same time. They were pissed at what the government was forcing them to do. And there was the time when they had made everything lax for the pandemic so that they could import and export easily, right? And they were trying to replace the protein with the worms, right? So I took my time during the pandemic whenever I shopped to look at the ingredients, and there it was, the worms. Because the UK had already put into law that it was okay so that they could sell it. But I saw the worms in all sorts of products that we think are still, American homemade, and they're not anymore. And I saw the worms, it was listed even. That was not, it was just listed. And like the wonderful snacks that our kids love. Mm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know when so the US opened that up so that they can get the import export. I don't know if they went in during session after that and changed that law. I have to look and see. But yeah, the worms were in food. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, because what we're eating isn't really, call me a conspiracy theory. No, I mean, it's unfortunate that not everyone gets to at least have one person in the family who works in behind the scenes and things, like the opportunities I got in life, to find out things and find out the truth, and to really be like the real truth, and where people are living it all day and they don't give a fuck. It's like they don't think about it twice. And just like with the lead thing, lead can actually be pretty good for you. Like, people removing all of the lead from their homes and stuff. Lead has its purpose, and it being in the paint and everything wasn't as bad as people thought. We have to just model the air and look at and see what it does. You're like, oh, there are some benefits to this lead. But everyone wants it out the house, right? So on one side of the company, we'll come in into especially like the older homes or poor neighborhoods and take the lead out. But in the end, that's not what the research said. No. Yeah, we don't even have, and so the food with the latest, that the government, they went ahead and admitted, right? That there there's a certain plastic in all of the food. They don't care. It doesn't, they're like, just, it doesn't matter what it is. You name it, it's in there. And that same plastic and the dioxins and the polyester, um, is just a way to keep you from procreating. That's it. They're just going to bring the numbers down. I mean, it's really that simple. They're going to bring the numbers down. And so the food you'll get, like, a lot of it's not real. They make it from all sorts of stuff that has nothing to do with being edible. And also, they have to feed the hospitals with cancer patients. That's important. That's a very big money maker. Hmm. Blood banks, because Switzerland gets all of our blood. And they were pissed to find out not too long ago that a lot of it came from the hood. Not only did it come from the hood, okay? Um, and I don't mean, people can understand, I don't mean a black hood. It's just impoverished people, poor people. They were white and black. So they had it set up like it was a different kind of blood bank type of stuff, right? Like, you get a debit card, you get good money, and you can come every day. So the drug dealer's waiting for you. You give him your card, you go in, you give your blah, 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 and you come out and you get your drugs and everything. He just wants to be sure that, at the end, he has that card in his possession, and he hands you the drugs, and there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, that type of stuff. I mean, literally for no reason. And the company will get a call to get rid of whatever, right? That's why you, mm, okay, to get rid of whatever, and the people, they do. I mean, we're trained. That's what the system is for. School, to make sure that you do what you're told to do, even if it's against your best interest, right? So we're eating a lot of worms. At this point, with the worms and everything, it's so far gone that And with the dioxins and the plastic in the food. So it's important. Oh, I used to do this on Twitch for 8 hours straight. 8 hours. Mm-hmm. I love Twitch. Twitch is dope. But I was with YouTube from the day it started, and you used to find everything I'm saying on YouTube back in the day. Like, I mean, from the beginning when people were just like uploading, like back in the day, it was really about passing the information without needing the dark web, right? So they wanted as many of the citizens to know what was going on. And all those people are dead now. They're dead. And I saw all of those videos, and people often say to me, prove it. I can't prove to you what YouTube has erased, but go do your research, and someone has it. I'm all about doing my own research. I don't ever just, when I'm talking to people, oh, right. That is the Epstein is so old. Like, I had people in 2020. I knew people mail me stuff because I already know shit. It's not like they're gonna tell me anything that surprises me. I'm like, oh yeah, there are all these indictments or whatever, and I got beaten down. I'm like, why would I tell you that I'm like, pay attention. Did you not notice that Oprah had? I saw it with my own eyes. Oprah had on one of those ankle monitors. Start to connect it, people. It's like, it's not the conspiring. It's unfortunate. That's the best part. That's the most brilliant part. People are too busy changing conspiracy into lies. They just went ahead, and it's like you go on the dictionary now, and they might as well put conspiracy in the definition means liar. Like the conspiring in the UK can tell you this. Any place with kings and queens can tell you this. The conspiring is the best part because you're going to have a part in it. I'm all for the conspiring. And that's why people send me the emails. And then I'm telling people things in advance. And whether they take it or not, I don't care. I apply it and keep my family safe. That's all I do. I take it and I keep my family safe, and I pass it on to other people. Believers or non-believers, that's up to them. I mean, and it's been nothing but right because it was never wrong. Like, I don't understand what's wrong, people. Never know that garbage could be some good shit compared to what's in the store, right? Just like it's at this point, if you've still got those canned goods from back in the day, if it's been 5 years, you're better off than any so-called natural animal that they're going to kill off and sell to you now. People are just, they're out for themselves. What's that movie? And they redid it. And in the movie, they keep saying, like, they're the people who help you, and they're the people who don't. And that's how the game goes. Sometimes the people telling you the wildest things are trying to help you. And all you have to do with the stuff we're saying is go research it, and you can find it. So I try not to lecture, because I'm a lecturer, about anything that the people can't go and find. I want to be sure that, okay, I'm telling them this stuff. I probably shouldn't be telling them confidential shit, but I know that in the end, they'll know that I didn't lie to them because they're going to research it and they're going to find it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I don't know if it's like holding a message, it's not me. On Twitch, I don't hold shit. I don't kick people. I don't know. So I'm not messing with buttons. So if you sent something, it wasn't me. It's just doing its own thing. But yeah, like, Just like, okay, I'm gonna say this, right? Because this is, I mean, you should know this. So, right up underneath you, probably, more than likely, okay, if you're on this land that they call the US of A, um, right under where you are, there's a whole world functioning. And you can hear them. Like, I can hear them where I'm at. And I would tell my mother all the time, like, Mom, oh, they're busy. So, whatever roads and highways underneath us that they were building, they're done. And I'll get some like motion trimmers and stuff. But yeah, like, there's a whole, the people up here, also down there. The people up here, also down there. It's just who gets the right and privilege for whatever reason to be a part of the other part. And of course, they've got a beautiful man made sun down there. Hmm. They can do a lot down there. It's like, but do you want to be with them down there? Because unfortunately, they don't win. They don't win, but they enjoy the game. We don't, for many reasons. Yeah, because that food in the dumpster, and I'm not kidding you, people look at bums like they're crazy or something. Today, the food in the dumpster could be way better than the food that you have in your refrigerator that you just got from the outside aisles where all of your vegetables, everything they teach you, and all the produce. Mm, it's all bullshit. It's all a game for them. We're not playing. How about this? We're playing once we know the game. So I am playing the game. They know I'm playing the game. Oh yeah, overstock. Shrimp. And depends on, like, the things I get in Connecticut at a dollar store. It's crazy stuff, like the top-notch stuff. But I'll go elsewhere, and the things they get at the dollar store is deadly. So it's about resources, money. Where did you choose to live? And again, if I worked for a top environmental corporation and the people put it here and are willing to live around here, that then means that I'm in one of the better locations. All of it speaks to you. All of it speaks to you. People don't, it makes people sad though. Some people, it doesn't make me sad. Okay. But it makes some people very sad, and they can't take it because once you've blown their mind, they can end up in the psych ward. It's the honest truth. People go crazy from the truth. Some of us deal better with the truth. And now that you've been on here with me, Brendan, they know you, and they know I've had this conversation with you. All those movies you see, they're real. There are those who help you and those who don't. I can go right now with my unknown influence, unknown, and enter a room, and that person will overnight have a change in numbers. You have to know your worth and who's watching you. And you've been here now. Trust me, anybody I take, if I'm doing a live, they're watching. Make the use of it. I never open up my comments anymore. You get tired of them taking advantage of your knowledge and everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was so simple as this, Brendan, okay? Like, before it even happened, the pandemic, all I had to do was pay attention to the fact that, oh shit. So this was like 2019. I'm like, they're wearing those masks again in China. And they had released a documentary about a Chinese company in Ohio. You can go find, I think, on Netflix or Prime. I can't remember. So I watched it in 2019. The Chinese are brilliant. Everything for them is a real setup by the calendar. So the Chinese dude is like, I'm never coming back here again, right? The senator was trying to warn the people. They told the senator he needed to apologize. Here's this brilliant, exceptional white dude. I love exceptional white people. He's like holding it down. Like, yo, he gave that speech in front of Chinese people. He didn't give a fuck. He told the truth. And all of the people who back him and everything are like, you should apologize to the beast that's about to eat your ass. He didn't apologize because he was right. That man left. I can't believe I have to go and see if the documentary is still up. I could not believe they allowed it to air because it showed everything. And it was produced. It was Chinese produced. It had nothing to do with us. That's interesting too. And they were showing how much they hated us. And they were telling them from the beginning, like, listen, all of this is going to be automatic soon. We're going to fire all of you. And then there are people like, we don't want a union because this is China's a beast and you don't want a union. Your senator's trying to help you. Ate him up alive. And like he said, he'd never be back again. And he didn't come back. The violations he had, I mean, we're all watching violations on the documentary in 2019. No one did anything. And the white dudes would be like, telling his Chinese ass, like, you can't do this. Like, we have laws. The Chinese man was like, he kept going. But what he was doing, he's gone. He hasn't been back since. Just like he said, because he knew what was about to happen. And so, of course, he wasn't going to come back here. And then, and I'm like, okay. And the pandemic came. And do you know the eclipse, the energy from the eclipse is I don't know if anyone, if you're in tune to those things, the energy was so annoying. It was so, the frequency, the vibration, it could like drive me mad. That's how it felt to me. Okay. Like I could go mad. But yeah, remember that. Oh, but right at the beginning, March 2020, the people who created the vaccine, the doctors, the scientists, did a roundtable and told the people that, no, this is not what we created it for. And the test, we didn't create it for this. It can't test for this thing that they're talking about. It's impossible. I mean, the people who worked on it and everything sat there. And so then someone said, well, to the panel, okay, would you take the injection? And they were like, did you not hear what we just said? We're talking about self-assembling particles. Of course not. Because so it didn't matter who didn't get it. The people who didn't get it, me, okay, it didn't matter because they were going to wind up with heart issues. Find out how many people all of a sudden were dropping from heart issues, the people who didn't take the shot. So the people were trying to push against the citizens, the people who knew and had the knowledge, because they're like, you're going to fuck us up. It's not just something that you take and it's over. No, nano. Self-assimilating. It's looking, it's thinking, it's attaching, it's grabbing. It's doing what it does. It's a beast. And so people have heart problems like my son. Why did my son all of a sudden, July 2020, start having high blood pressure? He was in his teens. He'd never had a blood pressure problem before. It's a rare thing to happen. But then after the doctors came back sometime and they gave another roundtable talk, they explained what you're going to see is heart problems. And they explained it to the average people. And those average people just kept No, thank you, because of what you should have seen how many of those I had the other day. Sorry, I was talking to someone. So, and they're still out there. Now, then there's the other group of people who didn't make it. And they weren't the people in this round table, though, that I'm talking about. It was a different group of people, and especially the people who spoke to Trump. Since I have an illness, I was always on Plaquenil. But Trump tried to tell everyone what you need is some Plaquenil, blah, blah, blah. And the world is like, la, la, la. I'm like, oh, yeah, they need some Plaquenil. I was on Plaquenil for the entire pandemic because I was already on Plaquenil. I don't get the flu. I've never had a flu shot. I've had sepsis 5 times and survived at home. Whenever I get sepsis, you're gonna die tomorrow. Honest to God, they're like, we're gonna call that piece of paper, and they're, but let me. If you leave, you're gonna die. Sign my name. Bye bye. I'm alive 5 times. Let me see what you're saying. What name was it? It was a biblical. Okay. Of course. Of course. Order the missing books online. Yeah, but nobody wants to read anymore, right? I'm always telling people, go to the library. Go and find the old microfiche type stuff at the library. Okay? Right, you had COVID 3 times. Exactly. And you survived. Especially as a young person. We were doing this to these young people, and you guys are fine. You were going to be fine. You didn't need anything. You were strong enough. That means what they created, it was strong, but it wasn't like the plague back in the day, where all they had to do was clean up the sewage system. And the people knew that that's all they needed to do in the UK and stuff, and they didn't. And that's some shit they knew. Took them a long time, like, all right, we'll stop using the horses and really use these cars. Like, you didn't even have to do that. It's just the point that, all you high class people and your horses dropping shit in the city. And it's making everybody who lives here sick, because we're here to work and make your bread and your pastries and chop up and butcher your meat. And we're living right next to it. So we need to work on time when you get here, like slave drivers looking for stuff. So we can't be further out. But yeah, the Bible, yeah. Listen, the Vatican has everything. And when the pandemic came, it went dark. The Vatican went dark. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I'm already here. By then, I've already heard from the people who are like, hell no, we're not taking that. And we're not giving that to any of our family members. We made it. We know we made it. We're not taking it. So I'm like, oh shoot, it's dark. Made no sense. And so then found out that they changed the law during the pandemic. 75 and older can come and view. Of course, they changed it during the pandemic. But, and I mean, back in the day, I would use it in a lot of my online lectures, because Aborigines, your so-called blacks, we're going to go, if we're 75 and older, we might not make it home. But non-Aboriginals could go at 75 and make it home. And a lot did. And you can go online and they've got all their photos up. And they're all of Aboriginal people. Everything. But I knew that because there are a lot of exceptional white humans. And they send me stuff. Like, oh, shit. And they know that, oh, shit. Like, you guys really didn't come from Africa. Nope, we were always here. We told you that. They know. I got to see the picture where there's the white king. I mean, the Aboriginal king in the UK, right? He's sitting. He's got his ball. He's all happy. Somebody gave him, some shit. Like, look at this. I got this little ball. This Pope dude or some kind of shit's happening, And then they went in. They killed him after they gave him those gifts. They did the painting over, and it was of a white dude with that same ball. They did the exact same picture. So people who went, send me stuff. It's all right. Don't worry about it. And I'm just talking. I'm a lecturer. Like I said, uh, I usually like 8 hours, 8 hours straight. 8 hours straight I can do. Mm-hmm. So it's no big deal. Just giving the information out. Yeah, right. If you're there to witness it, right? Or if you're paying attention, like the DNA testing. Everybody, you know that's fake, right? And all you have to do is go research. So, um, there are independent researchers who are not connected to anything, and what they're going to tell you is going to be so basic and so exact that it's actually more boring than anything else, right? Because really, the biggest question is, who are these dark motherfuckers with woolly hair all over the place? That's the biggest question. And truly, where were they? Once you do that, then those people, and I'm just saying, this is what the white dude is saying. Once you find them, they can tell you who you are. We can tell you who you are. But what we tell you, but difference, it doesn't matter. You don't believe it, you this, that. If we're living by it, why would we be living by it if we if we didn't know it was true? Just like Mexicans are from India. Mm-hmm. Yep, from India. Mm. That was originally um, Aboriginals with woolly hair. It's because it's hard to hear the truth that you're in a for Aborigines. Um, okay, there's Aborigines and there's Aborigines. It's spelled differently. Okay, the ones in Australia, they have a spelling. We have one here. Okay, and then the rest I just call Aboriginals because I don't know. I can't speak for Africa. I can't speak for anything but my tribe, my biblical tribe, not the Bible that they push out to everyone. Not that Bible. And it wasn't a Bible. It was just the wisdom being passed down. And they would try to burn it down and everything. Like, especially in the South, burned all the courthouses down. It was because, and then let's remember when they burned it down, that was the front. They had already at night, I kid you not, hauled it off. And it's sitting at the Vatican because there's only ever been one war, the war over creation. There's only ever been one war. And within that war, there have been millions of campaigns about the same basic shit that everybody stopped for 5 seconds to listen. It is so easy. It's not hard. But people like this game. I kid you not. They like it. And for those of us who don't, it's frustrating because we're like, it's all bullshit. And the truth of it is so simple that I guess it's too boring. People really like all this violence, you know. They love it. No, people love it. They love it. It feeds them. It feeds them a certain frequency. And they have to feel that vampires and shit, that's real. Hello, vampires are real. Mermaids are fucking real. Like, what's wrong with people? So you can believe that dinosaurs existed, which they didn't. They didn't. Those bones, the way they put them together how they wanted. It's art. They're giants. They were just giants. It's so silly. It's silly. Um, Originally, there weren't mountains. Mountains are just fossils. It didn't rain. The mist came from the ground. You don't lose water and you don't gain water. So whenever they're telling you there's not enough water, they're lying, because this planet cannot lose or gain anything. Nothing is new under the sun. So think about it. You're drinking the same water that your first ancestor, depending on what you believe, drank. It's the same water. We don't gain water. We don't lose it. It's just recycled, right? You can't just destroy energy. Mm-hmm. You're not crazy. But it's people who are enjoying this experience. I mean, what can I say? We're outnumbered. And even the people who claim they're not enjoying it are full of shit, or we wouldn't be outnumbered. And I only speak of what I know. I don't speak on what I don't know. So I have seen everything, one way or the other, of the things I speak about. I've seen it. Yeah. If you really want to see aliens, bring yourself to South Beach. Florida. Yeah. I remember my 20s. I'm standing in line and I look and I can't move. I'm stunned. I had never in my life. So when I left, because I had a friend with me, I'm not thinking about her. I'm not thinking about anything. When I walk out, and we both serendipitously turn to each other. Like, did you see the alien? We said the same, I promise you, we said the same exact line. Did you see the alien? And this woman swims with the whales. Shout out to Aborigines who actually, like, they do that, swim with whales. She gets to know the whales will let her play with their babies and stuff. She saw that alien. So I'm saying she's a person who's very concrete about, I got into that body of water. I actually saw those whales. I actually communicated with those whales, and she said the baby could come. The baby came over. So we're talking. I like to speak about people who are very grounded when I tell the stories. So it didn't come from some crazy person. Because I'm an artist, and so sometimes, people just think art. People are silly. Let's see here what you're saying. Wait, yeah, of everything, because because the corporations are too big to be messed with. Yep. So farmers can no longer farm, right? Yep. I saw a UFO last year twice. Right? Mm-hmm. 2 weeks apart. In broad daylight. See, I like people who see it in broad daylight, especially. Yep. No. Yeah. Now, you can see it. Why? Always say, because this black dude, I'm going to say black, which only means Aboriginal. This black dude was like, I saw a fucking mermaid. Now, black men are very special people. They don't go for no bullshit. And like I said to people, if a black man has told you, an Aborigine, has told you that he saw a mermaid, he saw a mermaid. Because he barely want to say it. He don't look like a punk. Because we're very earthy. I don't know how to, we're very jivey. I don't know. There's a word for all the energy that we hold with because of the melanin and everything. So, like, he don't even want to have to say that out loud. And he said it. And he saw a mermaid. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, he saw it, he saw it. And it comes to people, and I have a psychiatrist because I was molested and raped, right? For so many years. And so I've been seeing her like 16 years or so. And we talk about these things, and she's like, fuck yeah. This is an exceptional white human woman. It's like, yeah, oh, yeah. Uh huh. So if your psychiatrist can tell you, like, people, so I'm just saying people they're enjoying this. But some of us are vibrating differently, okay? Which could, which could mean, Brendan, that your amalgamation from what happened when a lot of women were raped on this earth, right? This is the best way I can put it, because it's all in the writings, not the Bible, but the original letters and writings that were sent out to amongst the Aboriginal tribes in order to keep the knowledge and the information, right? So that no one could change it, which of course we know they went ahead and changed it anyway, and that's what you get in history class. It's all bullshit. Christopher Columbus was a lot of people. They sent a Christopher Columbus out at the same time worldwide. So he wasn't just one person, there were many of them sent around the world. So it seems to me that all that it is that with the amalgamation for you, and the frequencies and the things that you're capable of seeing, is that because they have the dumb Aborigines down for the frequency not to come in. They need for us to drink a lot, smoke, and do drugs because the frequencies and things that we can see because of it, the vibration of a thing. We can vibrate so high that we can see what others can't see. So they must find ways to bring the vibration down. Now, if you are from an amalgamation, right? It means you're just not Aborigine. That means that maybe, okay, and that's what I call my exceptional whites. Because you can't really choose to be exceptional all the time. It's in the DNA makeup of how you vibrate. It's about your frequencies. It's about your melanin. It's about a lot of things. It's about what your parentage is. And so, like, my psychiatrist is just an albino. So she didn't get a lot of the genetic hiccups and the psychosis. And I've said all this to her, and she's been like, uh-huh. I'm like, because you can't cure the type of psychosis that comes from an amalgamation. It's not curable because it's not an illness. It is your true makeup. And so you see young white humans who often have problems with their parents and their families because, oh shit, this one kid, all he got was the complexion with the issue with the problem with the melatonin and the complexion, all of that. And he functions and vibrates differently. And he's seeing things and hearing things that his family members can't. That's it. So it's like you're an albino. And you can tell, like, you study a person, if you study a person long enough, you don't need a microscope. Okay? So that's why I get upset when I see unexceptional black liabilities running amok. Because for most of us, it's learned. It's learned, and it is also systemic, and it is also environmental and airborne. So there are a lot of keys to how we are targeted in order to just not tell the truth. It's not a big deal. No, you're probably just mostly an albino. That's it. But and look how long we've been talking, for an hour and something, and it's hard to get um unexceptional white humans to listen to an Aborigine that long enough to get to that part. And I'm saying that because I've done this a lot. I've had people, it took them the 8 hours to get the breakthrough. Because I'm like, you're still here with me 8 hours later. It seems to me like you're now albino, and maybe you've got some other heavier stuff going on, but you have the potential to override the propaganda that's on top of it and be your exceptional self. Because there's some who I kid you not, there's nothing they can do. They are a different creature. And that's what I call the white creature, because a psychiatrist agrees you can't fix that psychosis. At least we don't know how genetically, right? To fix that. So we have to be careful because the number is higher than the non-exceptional. The white creature, his number is higher than the exceptional whites. Let me say it, in on this land that they call US of A, on this land. Yeah, on this land. I'll say this, I don't give this out a lot. You would be amazed if you were to take a little time and say, I'm going to commit myself within my lifetime before I'm 30 to go to the lands of my parents, the original, your forefathers. And you're going to find there an energy that you can vibrate higher on naturally. And I don't know if that's making sense to you, but that can make all the difference. It doesn't mean you have to stay there, because now you're used to being here and you see it as home. It doesn't mean you have to stay, but it will change you forever. Forever. And maybe you stay there because you're like, I want to vibrate like this with the rest of these exceptional whites who only have, are only albinos. There are whole groups of people, and they do marry within their, not their own, but just in their own towns and communities, and create more exceptionals who are just albinos. And they get upset when they hear all this others talk about the others, but they don't realize that other number outnumbers them on my ancestral land, right? Right. Right. Yes. He worked outside because that's what men want to do. Men who are still men, despite the environmental implications. That's what they want to do. That's natural. Everything else is not. And that's why a woman complaining that a guy's always out, if she's not saying that, I'm worried. My dad is always out, always planning something or doing something crazy. It's just like, that's what he's supposed to be doing. It's crazy to me because I'm a woman. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We're meant to be different. But that would make perfect sense. And also, yeah, unfortunate, the propaganda at this point, they're like, we don't even have to hit these people with environmental shit. We just throw some Fortnite propaganda out, right? All right, we were playing Fortnite when it first came out. We got all the original shit. Right? And there was a point where it shifted. And I said to my son, this is weird. You know, Like, why? What happened with the characters? What are they playing into now? What is this about? So some of it's propaganda, um, and it helps that they've already got the environmental implications. And so on top of the propaganda, now you got a group of angry people who are functioning contrary to to the way their body was meant to function, but they don't want to be outcast, which they shouldn't, because someone caused it. Someone caused it. And the people who cause it would like to pass all these laws and let everybody feel real comfortable about everything, right? Of course, that's think on how the game goes. So we want to play into this group of people because we're bringing down the numbers, and we're taking our beautiful, pure children underground. We're going to live for a while and watch these people destroy themselves and become true living zombies. Those are zombies out here. People will literally bite you. That's real. That's a frequency. That's environmental. That's druggish. You have whole towns where houses, and I try to explain this to Aborigines in like the hoods and stuff. Listen to me. There are towns of white humans, and everybody else is doing hardcore shit, drugs. I'm like, so I ain't really got time for you to feel. I'm not gonna let you feel sorry for yourself. Keep going, keep going, keep going, regardless of what they throw at you. Keep going. Of course, you have a lot to offer. Oh, yes. Yep. Common, your common sense, right? Hmm. All it takes. Thank you. Right. It may be some right, because if you guys as males are actually out living how males want to live, you're going to already be doing physical things. And like back in the day, people didn't exercise. Like, for what? The men have been working hard all day. Like, exercise what? Now it's my time to sit down. So that's what you're naturally created to do. No, 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 no. That's not a rant. That's not a rant at all. You're giving your testimony. You're telling your story, and you're telling it to me. So I know too much, and so I'm looking at your story, and I'm like, yeah, this is not a rant. The problem is that more people need to be doing what you're doing, telling the truth, telling the truth. And the other thing, I can remember back in 2020, whenever everybody was upset, I don't really give into like the propaganda. Was it? I know this is sad. Black Lives Matter, whatever. And then it was like all lives matter, and we don't all this bullshit. Listen to me. You do not. You always honor your parents. Always honor them. And I always tell my son, listen to me. You leave the white human's daughter alone. He has a right. He has a right to want to procreate with his own. He has a right. There's nothing crazy about that. Separate but equal. That is what the world is. To Mother Nature, she's like, I don't give a fuck. To Mother Nature, we're equal. We're just all sitting on different parts. And at some point in time, one part is going to catch hell. Don't worry, everybody gets their chance to catch hell based on wherever they're at. It's nothing wrong. You don't. Parents have done too much. They're not perfect. Like I told you, who can get better than a C+ at being in parenthood? It's hard. It's hard here on this land that they call the US of A. It's hard. They put enough obstacles in your way, trust me, on purpose. So you're fighting up against something you didn't realize it was fighting you back the whole time, and it had never had any intentions of you ever being more than whatever you are. Because it wants all the resources. That's right. Do your thing. That's right. That's right. Showing your strength. Yes. Sorry, says that. Right. Like, science is great and everything, but common sense is going to get you a lot further. And so I feel I'm sad to see, all these STEM things, STEM this, STEM that, and like, yeah, that's not healthy. It's not healthy. No, that's not what we're created for. And so so everyone's gonna be behind cubicles soon. And they're gonna lose their fucking minds. And they know it's coming. See, what I'm trying to tell you is your parents are under attack by a system. So you have to have patience with that and not dishonor them if you can. Because it's not easy. He said, wait. Mom, these are many children. Wait first. Okay, listen, wait. Brendan, your mother might be right. Listen, see, this is what I'm saying. She might be right. Okay. So it's a war, remember? The war over creation. Now, we can get up every day and act like this is not a war, but it's a war. It's always on and popping worldwide. I don't care if you're in the bush. The people who don't live in the bush are trying to expose the fact that you're in the bush because they want your bush so that they can build something. They don't give a damn what it is anymore. Okay? And that they can ask for help from the creatures that they hide from you. Like, the pyramids, that's amazing. Einstein was so smart. Did people not pay attention to Einstein's words? He said a lot, without saying a lot. He wouldn't take a whole lot of credit because he had help. Someone told him. He did not figure that shit out by himself. He had the help of beings who already know that shit. Like, I don't get how people can accept there's dinosaurs, but they can't accept that there are other creatures. Like, clearly there are, and they've always been here. So yes, the world was flooded out. That's what scientists say it. I don't care what complexion. It has nothing to do with the Bible that everybody talks about. The world flooded. There are caves underneath the water. Today, there's people living underwater in underwater caves, and you will find them. They will say they've been always living in these underwater caves. Like, hello? Sometimes I can't freaking believe that people don't get it. So the flood wasn't about, who died up top. There are people who survived up top, okay, staying afloat. Fuck the Bible. Take that word out. That's not even what all those writings are called, okay? There are people who survived on top. And there were the people who survived underwater in the caves that they have always been in, and they're still there. Just as there's another civilization right up under you. Just like if Disney World can do it. So like Disney World obviously was not the first group of people to build a whole civilization underground. Obviously, DC did it here first, right? Government. Aborigines don't give a fuck about a cave. It kill us. But people who have an amalgamation can survive it and actually do better and be healthier in the cave, under the water. Yeah, okay, let's say this. This is the problem, Brendan. As a mom, the common sense tells you you don't want anyone to suffer. As an Aborigine, I don't want people to suffer. But we're not supposed to know, okay? God's original man can tell you the wisdom that was passed down to us over and over again. We were never meant to cross a body of water and occupy someone else's land. That's wrong. You don't do that. But there were a lot of sick people, and there are still a lot of sick people. Some of those people are in those caves I'm telling you about, where being in a cave is healthier for them than being out in the sun, where the Aborigines have to be. Okay? They're different creatures. Something tells me just, I just told myself, forget it. What's the point? Like, I've been doing it so long. Like, just forget it. If I tell my people, they'll get it. But outside of Aborigines, sometimes I just don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, just doing all this, what's the point? Yeah, like, you cannot break through the firmament. Regardless of what China tells you. Okay, now, this knowledge was passed down to me from our chief. He told me, he passed it down. They never went. And so as I grew older, I researched because, of course, why would he lie to me? And I found it. This was before what's his face, who made the movie and had the Apollo. He gave everyone all of the hints. And then before he died, he just said, fuck it. I'm just going to tell these people the fucking truth. Because if you're good at heart, if you're truly good at heart and you're not in a horrible psychotic amalgamation, your heart tugs at you to tell the people you've been lied to. Those people never went to these places they're talking about in that manner. They didn't go up there and put a sign down. That didn't happen. So he went ahead and told you the truth. But I've been found it. At first, the chief told me. So then I spent my life finding it and saying, oh shit. Yeah, because, we can't break through the firmament. They're full of shit. They're full of shit. But they're having a good time. And maybe, listen, I'm not one to break up people's good time. And so, but I'm going back to your mom. She's right. And she says that she's looking out for you. Because, let me tell you why. You're looking at the reason why you don't. Worry about other people across a body of water. You're not even supposed to know what they're doing. Technology that we have today is not new. And it's not as good as it was created before. It's not new. All this stuff we're doing. And actually, it's not as good as what they had long ago. And we're going to get tired of this. And we're going to stop using it again. It's just over and over again. So if you are doing what you're supposed to do and you're not, so you're talking to a person who everything was stripped from us by the gun. So you brought the equalizer, right? Your ancestors came with the equalizer. First they came, we were like, what the fuck is going on? Who the fuck is this? We had already been bombarded by the Indians who made their way. They had a war with each other, okay? Some left, and that's your Mexicans. So Mexico used to be Aborigines. They killed those people off. I saw, and the Mexican guy, you can find him online telling the story. So he's like, come on, y'all, now stop lying. Listen, let me tell you what happened. I'm like, you can tell me, I already know. So they won that war. They killed off all that tribe there, and they tried to move further up into my ancestral space. And we kicked their ass. There's something very interesting about Indian people and about Mexicans. You have to pay attention closely. We talk about the KKK and the Nazis. That ain't got shit on the Indian-Mexico beast. And so, your mother's right. The government enjoying itself, playing games with everyone's lives, sent those people to drive you crazy. They're outside right now. I'm in the suburb. My quiet suburb, where the white people moved out when we moved further back up north. We've been here. So, but it's dope. Well, you leave if you want. Some stayed. Because they realized, like, the exceptional ones stayed. That's what I'm telling you. Not all of you have the psychosis. The ones without the psychosis is like, where's everybody running to? We bring up the value of the neighborhoods. Do the research. Aborigines. My people aren't from the hood. They're from the South. Didn't I tell you we kicked Mexico's ass? So after we kicked their ass, right? We're like, fuck it. We didn't care. Like, whoever was left over for them. We just whatever. So we allowed them to build tent cities. Tent cities, which are what? Teepees. We were living in wooden and brick homes. When your ancestors arrived, there was a sewage system here. Everything was already in place. Buildings were here. Buildings. We were already making our homes from wood and brick. It was the white Mexicans. We was like, y'all can build y'all some tent cities, the same tent cities you see popping up everywhere now where people doing their drugs. And that's all the Mexicans sat around and did. Those people, they wanted, and then when your people came, they saw us, we're on the shore talking, right? Because the hate was gone at some point, okay? And your people pulled up and they saw us talking and was like, there's that motherfucker. Now, this is why I'm telling you this. That's what the Columbuses were about. Because of course, you know, Britain wanted, just like Britain wanted Britain when it was all Aborigines and they took that dude out and then they redid the painting, okay? They wanted India. And they wanted to account for everything that they felt was going to be theirs. And they pulled up and they're like, there's that motherfucker. You wonder why they hate the Mexicans so bad? They're the Indian that got away, people. The white Indian that got away. So we're like, okay, now we're in a weird situation, my people. We're like, okay, these people, by the time they had gotten your ancestors off the boat, they had been eating each other. They always bring at least one hoe, okay? So they get them out the prisons, especially in Ireland and everything. They're like, hey, you know, we can hang you today, or you can come with us on this trip. That's how they filled the boat. And they bought some hoes. So the first time, and towards the end, they had to eat each other. Now, my people, we're the last stop. Understand the mathematics. I'm saying it to you this way for a reason. There's mathematics to this, right? This was the last stop. So all that African shit people can throw out the window. We barely got any. We got 5% out of the entire African slave trade. 5% throughout this entire big ass landmass. Come on now, right? So we made you well, because now we're already used to this other white thing. We made your ancestors well after they've been eating each other, and there were the women who had babies, who may have survived, and then things got strange, and this is the best way I would put it, and we asked them to go, right? They left. We didn't let them take the women because we were disgusted by the difference in the treatment of our women compared to theirs. Hi, Ireland. You're welcome. Boston, New England, down the street, you treat people like shit. But you don't understand that if it wasn't for us taking in your women, the hoes you had put on them boats, you wouldn't be here today. We let them be indentured slaves, and they were able to have their fucking freedom. Then they came back again, because now, and when they went back to the queen, they brought with them some of these here white Mexican people that they lumped us together with later in history and called Indians. And then Native Americans. What was the first word they called them, Brendan? Indians, because they were really from India. They knew it. That's why the name is what it is, people. Like, that's why I'm like, I know, nah, about that. No, Indian. Yes, we had tribes here, but it wasn't called Indian tribes. But those people, so the Indians coming now, these are the Mexicans. I'm whispering because they out the door right here. We're tearing apart my neighborhood, along with a bunch of Middle Easterners who are fucking up a beautiful black suburban neighborhood. They're right here. Fucking it up. So your mother's right. They don't give a shit about you. They're going to keep coming. We got 7.5 million new people in a short span of time. The war is on. It's on you, Brendan. It's on you. It ain't got nothing to do with the Aborigines. All we did was try to help. Now, the second time, when your forefathers came and they got off the boat, they were sick, and we just had it because we had asked them to leave. They knew they were always coming back. So we left them alone. We weren't helping them because we had gotten ill from them, and we had to find a way to get ourselves well. So that pissed them off, and they had started eating each other again. Because we wouldn't help. And what we didn't know is they had brought something different this time. Not a horse, they had brought the equalizer. You're just like, you niggas. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? What he do with this little, what's this thing? He got a little stick. It's not got no arrow at the end. What are you gonna do with that? Oh, one shot kill, nigga. And they refused to leave. And here we are today with you right now. That's all I have. That's it. Exactly. Yep. See, right. And it's just by closing the borders, because I traveled, Brendan, right? And I'm an Aborigine, so my experience of traveling is not going to be the same as yours. So I was shot at in Costa Rica. I had bad shit happen everywhere I went because I was an Aborigine, right? But whenever I was in a spot when I traveled that I wasn't wanted, I would always leave. I'm just here to spend money, learn about other people's culture. And if you don't want me here, I'm going to leave. That's respectful. But that respect is not reciprocal. So I'm like, cool, leave all these people alone, you know. But we have a saying, the hardest thing for the black man, they say black man, is for him to be left alone. Nobody will leave us alone. Like, just leave us alone, man. We don't give a fuck. Yeah. Separate but equal. That's great. Just leave us alone. But now, remember I told you about the amalgamation. So on that next ship, they had some of that creature on there who wasn't just an albino, who had the psychosis and who shot every motherfucking body. Like, there may be 40 of us, but with these guns we got, we'll wipe you the fuck out. They still hated the Mexican, still hated him, the Mexican who was really the Indian, to the point where they did more for us than they did for them, aside from ruining the whole story by trying to mix us all together, which of course the white Mexican hated. Who was really the white Indian? Because there are Aboriginal Indians who have woolly hair in India. Go online, and you'll find people looking for them like, hey, when'd you guys get here? They're saying like from Africa. They're like, we were always here. And they're impoverished. So they have no the fuck idea. There's some places, people, where there really aren't TVs. So when these whites who take the time to go explore and take these mics and put them in front of these people really don't know anything about all of this. And that's how it's supposed to be. There's enough land. The only problem is that you've got sickos who covet. And to my tribe, based on the simple laws that were handed down, that's a sin, because it will ruin. It will ruin. ... It ruins a lot. Just put a ... or a slash, and you put whatever word you want there. So your mother's right. You have to clean it up and get rid of as many as we can. And it's just the truth. Because we've worked hard, Brendan, your forefathers and mine, to try to coexist in this space without it being like you see in other places. People are always like, black on black crime. Yeah, it's separate but equal. So if I'm having an argument, I'm happy having it with my neighbor and he's going to be black. Like, what are you talking? Just like white, you're having an argument with your neighbor. It's called white on white crime. It happens all day in a larger number than black on black crime. White on white crime is higher than black on black crime. Like, come on, world. Like, people are so mentally disturbed, Brendan. And that's another thing. If they're that mentally disturbed, there's nothing you can tell them. They don't have the capacity, the frequency, the vibration that you have. And so you have to be careful, and you have to navigate the waters, if you would like, as an Aborigine would, knowing that I can't tell which has the psychosis. So we just like, just keep to myself, because we're always backstabbed. We're always, because the people with the psychosis outnumber the people who don't have it. And then the people who don't have it, the propaganda is so strong, the environmental implications are strong, the vaccines are so strong. There's so many things that are affecting this freak show. It's a full-on freak show. Yeah, exactly. Right. But if these people are born with the psychosis, Brendan, they're meant to be born to hate. You can't change that. And can you accept that? Aborigines can. And that's why we just move back and make our own little suburbs on the land that truly is the land that we were given. Just as I'm telling you, there is land that your ancestors were given. If you step your foot on it, you're going to feel different than you feel on the soil here. I'm saying that because I've left this soil. So notice how we don't run. Your ancestors, right? They ran. Every immigrant that you see, every foreigner, every new citizen is a runner from another place, trying to take and occupy just like the Jews do. Listen, these people are no better, Brendan, these people are no better than the covetous Jews. They're no better. They're fighting for Palestine, but first you have to tell your kids the truth about the story and how it went, or it'll never be right. And maybe one of our generations won't be as docile as mine. The other generations prior may be. Soon they're coming for that ass because you just haven't told the truth. Stand up, give your testimony, and tell the truth. The beast does. The beast. See, that's what I love about the beast. The beast tells you who it is. Serial killers, people always like they are majority are white, and it's from a psychosis. It's not the same as an Aboriginal serial killer. Theirs is from loads of things, emotional things, but it's not innate. It's learned. It's due to some circumstances that came after birth. But there are people who are born serial killers because of the amalgamation, and whatever happened went wrong. You can't change that. And so your heart's going to bleed for your people, right? Until you can figure out, oh, this is a terrible person. You'll never really know, because sometimes it's very slick. They're very slick moving, right? So if I befriend you and your people get upset, you're not hanging out with them anymore, you're hanging out with the blah, 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 you think you're black, blah, whatever, whatever. You've been with them longer. Those are your families, your first cousins, your aunts and your uncles. So you're going to feel you have to honor that. And I can't tell you that that's wrong. See? See how complicated that is? So what we do, we keep it simple. We mind our business. We try really hard. We be doing our things, get into our arguments. You got your street wars. You got all this. We just prefer if people shut up and not get involved, because our numbers of warring against others, it's not even close. We only war against the neighbor. Sometimes we make the East Coast, West Coast, that's the closest we got, a silly rap war. A lot of people died, but not that many. Trust me. Niggas be like, I'm telling, y'all ain't killing me off. Exactly. Not over some music. It's a motherfucking lie. Not over some music. So it's hard. But I always say, before they brought in the 7.5 million, the relationship that we had built here, the Aborigines and the white humans, it took a lot. And it was way better than what is happening now. And I can assure you, no Aborigine invited these people in. So you have to say to your people, why are we inviting people in? We don't know these people. They're strangers. They like to traffic people, human traffic people, right? They like to take those organs and sell them. I told you about the blood bank in Switzerland. And Switzerland, they were hot when they figured out all of their blood was coming from poor people, and black poor people. The Red Cross. The Red Cross. Just like in Chicago. That is all for a reason. There's a lot of money. There's billions of dollars, $1 billion industry getting those little black boys to act a fool. Hand them whatever pills and drugs they want. Same as a Diddy. They act a fool. Rape as many so that then, and when you look at the people who are working behind the scenes and handing the money to these Aborigines, right? The Middle Eastern and Mexican. They're Middle Eastern and Mexican. And so I took some time in September and October to prove myself right. Got in my car. And I was right. Everywhere I went. And then you ask about, well, who's missing how many people, who body parts, this, that. And you'll look at the staff. Middle Easterners and Mexicans. Cutting up your bodies. It's easy for the government, the sick ones who are in government, the government people who have the psychosis. Remember, I told you they're living right up under you. There are ways to get from down there in every neighborhood, people. So people are like, well, how did she? Well, she was there, she was gone, and they blame it on the parents. No, they easily come up, grab who the fuck they want, and keep moving. All rich people got tunnels, right? Tunnels under their homes that connect to other tunnels, that connect to other tunnels. There are highways. I've seen it. Like truckers will sometimes be nice and show you footage. Go look online and look up the truckers who are showing the footage of, like, I'm entering the underground highway. It's just like it's functioning up here, it's functioning down there. I'm like, oh shit, real highway. These people are really living. But they're enjoying this game. The worst thing you can do is covet with someone else's land. That will set them off. That sets off campaigns but that's not our fault. Let me be sure you understand that, Brendan, especially at your age. That's not your fault. People are going to die every day. That's how this game goes of life. And do not think for a minute that your people here, especially your brilliant and exceptional impoverished whites, aren't being slaughtered. So you can't worry about what those people are doing across the water because you're not saving your people. Aborigines are saving ours. We're online all the time trying to figure out who killed who participated, who took $2,000 to rape whatever little black girl, to drug her. How much did they get paid? How much is the heart worth? How much is her kidney worth? It's real. So the war is also on you. You close the borders and you get rid of, it's tough when you're talking about transplants. Transplants are the children who were forced here basically because of their parents. That's hard. And I have a lot of sympathy for that. But put them together with their parents and send them back. They have a country, Brendan. Like, so what if the country is in war? This is the wild, wild west. We have never not been in war. We're in war now. This is a war. Because, Brendan, this is my people's land that you're on. And we get fed up sometimes. So remember, right? So it's difficult, it's complicated. But you're lucky. Aborigines have good hearts. We're children of God. But now we've had enough with new propaganda. We kicked the Mexicans' asses. How dare you bring them back? We're not going to let them stay, Brendan. So, I mean, whether your mother's for or against, she can tell she's not alone. We're not, because it's a drug game running. And they're taking away business from the young black folks in the hood who need to make their little drug money. That's a part of the economy. Because, Brendan, you do understand that Aborigines can't import and export anything. We're not citizens by the real law. It's never been changed. So there are things we can't do. We can't bring that shit here. So it's your own people. Now, once you take a mirror and you lift that mirror up to your own people and you realize that you're 6 feet under, you're going to say, MissNikkiAnn was right. The majority of my people from the amalgamation have a psychosis, and they will take me out in order to keep this game going. So it's very tricky. So I just say, welcome to the world of there are those who help you and those who don't. And it's not about protesting. That'll get you killed. That's not how we operate. And it's not even, listen, it's not even about hate. It's truly the makeup of a certain creature. They're not hating anything. Trust me, they're enjoying. Mexicans will listen to a lot of hip hop and shit. Come out, be friendly with you. They are the quickest backstabbers you're going to ever find. And not just kill you, rape your daughters. My goddaughter has been raped since they've been here. I said to her, well, what did the people look like? Because this shit didn't make no sense. Gang rape? In Connecticut. It was, and I'm like, she explained like it was Mexicans. So great. So now we've already survived from the 70s, all of the shit we went through. And now they let these motherfuckers in. On purpose. And some of the whites who are just good-hearted are standing there like, welcome. You know, we've got blacks here. We've got all sorts of people. Welcome to America. You know, give us that bullshit. Give us your tired, your poor, why would you ask for people to give you their tired and poor people who are desperate? They'll do anything. And with the psychosis, there's not a fear of death. So if you are just an albino, you're going to fear death. They make fun of black folks juking and jiving and dancing. That's being alive. That's the shit you're supposed to do. You work hard and then you dance. What else are you supposed to do? You have children. You help them build their homes. You help them. You teach them the garden to eat. But they took away all of our land. So you're like, you didn't kill us off because we're amazing. You needed us to teach you how we made that brick, how we did that wood, about the soil in each state, because it changes. So they couldn't kill us off. They needed us. But they tried their hardest to push that damn Mexican Indian out. Gave him liquor. That's how they paid him. They're like, fuck it. We will clothe you. We're going to take all your land, but we're going to clothe you. And if you're lucky and you big mama, you're going to cook and you can actually have some of the food from inside. Right? Not the Mexican Indian. No. They was like, they want them people. They gone. Because they're actually crazier. And it's not so, let's take out the word hate. It's common sense. You don't invite strangers into your house, do you? Do you just leave your door open? Y'all, Brendan might be going. I could be talking to myself. I'm used to it. I give lectures. You don't just leave your door open. Hell, welcome everybody. They're going to come in like Farnsworth Bentley has been accused of taking J-Lo's purse. And they're going to steal, snatch, and grab. Like, what's wrong with you? That's why that Muslim shit that I be hearing. If a visitor comes, you open up your home. A niggas be like, you's a motherfucking lie. You can be an idiot if you want. We're telling you how it went. We stood on that shore. All we was like was hello. And look where we're at today. And then we asked you to go. The second time you brought guns. You will make us better. You will heal us. You will show us how to plan all this shit you've been planting. Okay, what the fuck are we supposed to say? So that's where we're at. Hate. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's some bullshit. Mm-mm. The problem is that the people who are here, just like with the Jews, they don't want to leave that land out there in Palestine. They should. They're really just cousins. Can't be white and Jewish anyway. The Vatican can tell you that. The Vatican can tell you that you can't be white and Jewish. But everybody just sits around and watches that fuckery. And then, like, come help us. We can't help you. The Aborigines can't help you. Oh, yes. No. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the word holy. No, because that's not real. It's real in the sense that they stole it all and they pieced together a book in order to tame and put people under their foot. It's slavery. They use it to enslave white people. They took it to enslave their own people. That's it. That's what that book is. That's what I'm telling you. It was just handed down, written, and someone put it all together, made a book and used it to enslave people. But that's not what it originally was. So to believe in it, no, not. But of course, see your disconnect from that book. See, I'm not just disconnected from it, sorta, because we were left the writings, and we know we know who has it. The Vatican has it. The Jews have some of it in Israel. They just took all of it worldwide when they sent out the Christopher Columbus. It was a campaign. There will never not be a war, but that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen because this is what they do. Let's see. All right. Saying they're treated right. Okay. Let me catch back up. Humble and keep getting kicked in the mouth. Yeah, nobody, who told you? That's not what okay. So let me tell you what the original writing was trying to say in that lesson from the ancestors, about being humble to your neighbor. And the word neighbor literally meant next door. And so, of course, your neighbor would not, in the natural sense, back hundreds of years, even thousands, wouldn't have been somebody across from the water, because you need your neighbor to do well, because if your neighbor doesn't do well, you won't do well, because it's going to bring down the value of your life, right? But a neighbor is your occupier, is not your neighbor. That's a foreigner. It's not your neighbor. So you no, listen, I don't approach any Mexicans with humility. You crazy? It's my ancestral land. I don't give a fuck how they feel. Now, what the white humans here and the Aborigines here, what we've come to so far in our own dance, that's our business. That's our own business and our own choice. And I don't fucking like anybody being involved in it. That's up to us. We helped you the first time, and that's where we fucked up. And here we are today. And we're not the type, because we're not of an amalgamation and we don't have that psychosis. So we're not going to just go ill on you. It's just not going to happen. We're going to fight you differently. Okay? It wouldn't, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. And then we know that there are some of you who don't have the psychosis. So we, It's a weird dance. And you always show yourselves when you're those people. You always come out and support, and you get help from your families. I mean, if everybody who came within the last 10 years were to leave, that's good enough. That right there alone is good enough. If we get rid of the last 10 years worth of people, send them back home. Brendan, you can't feel sorry for these people. They have whole countries to go home to. My people, we're on our land. So what are we supposed to do? We can't run home to get away from them because we're already home. Trust me, it's going to come a cycle again when your people are going to leave. And this place will look crazy when they leave it behind. And we'll just be standing around looking like this is nothing. It happens over and over again in history. No, no, no. What I'm saying is, okay, you're talking about. No, I said to you, I don't believe in the book. I just said to you, pay attention to this part. It's highly unlikely 800 plus million blacks in Africa didn't come from Africa. They did. The Africans are African. What do you mean? I'm telling you that I'm not. That's it. You see how hard that is? Look at the thing. You're back. You're stuck. Don't get stuck. You're stuck where it always gets stuck. I knew it was coming. You did good. You're 2 hours and something in. You're stuck at the Bible, right? You're stuck at Africa. White folks get stuck because I'm telling you the truth because it's been passed down, but you won't accept it. And you're going to tell me about Africa. We don't know those people. Do you get that? We're not the same. That's a different tribe. We were separated by water. Yes, there was a time when it was all a piece. It wasn't called Africa because it was all a piece. Do you get, are you understanding? And it was separated into tribes. And Mother Nature did it naturally. You had the floods, you had all sorts of things. And it was great because then it became separate but equal, which made for a minute, made it better. Okay? Until people decided to build all of these things. And you're talking about Jordan, and you're talking about, listen to me, I'm an Aborigine. You can't tell me the thing that your people weren't here for. Don't get stuck. And this is when I start to be able to see if you're exceptional or unexceptional. I used to do this on Twitch. And you made it 2 hours in. All you're doing is talking propaganda, the Holy Bible. I just told you. The Vatican has all of the original handwritten things from around the world of Aborigines. They took them, right? They sent Christopher Columbus's worldwide at the same time. It was a whole campaign. It had a lot to do with some other campaigns. Okay? I'm trying, it was just written words, the wisdom and the knowledge. And yes, the wisdom and the knowledge was the same. So that's what makes it powerful, because then it tells you something else, which CERN can't quite get. But what white people at my old job at the Environmental Corporation knew. There is a God. Whether we like it, you could be mad and hate it. And there are a lot of atheists. They will not believe in God for days, but they'll believe they saw some evil shit. They're like, I wonder about Satan. See, and that's what I'm like, I don't get that deep into whatever book they put together. My ancestry goes way beyond, it goes before that. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. And you're talking about stuff that you can go and look at the Vatican. Go, and you're white. So you can go online and find white dudes who will share what they've already had. Dude is not the orthodox. These are names and words. What I'm talking about, it has nothing to do with the name of a thing and which language is in and what words. It was very simple. You're not, okay. See? Because this is what the people who were here before you are telling you a thing. And then you're telling the people something else. So that's why I'm telling you. Now I begin to say, okay, let me look, and I can figure, this is easy. I do it all the time to figure out if you have the psychosis. Because the person with the psychosis, they're going to keep fighting the person who is telling the living truth. It's the living truth. The ancestors passed it down. You can't, you're going to tell me about a land that your people aren't from. It has only been but so many hundreds of years. You guys haven't been here long, sweetie. When you got here, we already had streets. Do you get that? We had it was already up and popping. They tell you something, so I can't help to you if you're brainwashed. There's nothing that I can do in order to Tuskegee University has this thing called the ignorant bench, and it's great. That's a HBCU, historically black college or university. Booker T. Washington, it's a statue of him lifting this veil off of a slave. So we go to school and they make sure that the veil is lifted from everything that your parents and your forefathers put in books to teach us. Then they pull out the original shit and lift that veil for the kids, for the Aboriginal kids who didn't get that, right at the front of the university. So unfortunately, you're still under the veil. I can't help you. The only way that you can come from under the brainwashing in the veil is to go. You came, you spoke to me. That's cool. You got to keep going. And it's going to be best to hear it from a white dude who went and saw for himself, who ran the test himself, who didn't go through these corporations. But are you going to do that? Who knows? That's why we don't have time to sit around and wait for you to figure it out. How long are we supposed to wait for you to figure it out when we're telling you? Now, soon the government's going to go ahead and let you know that I am Jesus. Oh my God, that's not white people stuff. Silly. Nothing's changed. I am the epitome of Jesus. I am the original man. So he wasn't. Every once in a while, I find an exceptional. I didn't get one today. Let me see. No, not today. That's okay. They already exist because I have them. The exceptional white. I already have exceptional whites in my life who would read this and laugh. Yeah. The exceptional whites in my life would read everything this young man just wrote and be like, just like I was told by my Jewish doctors. Jews, and that's one thing I'll tell you, Jews can be some very brilliant people, the fake white Jews. I'm like, is this war ever gonna end? He said, no. That war, Nikki, he's got his little thing on, right? I mean, and this is Connecticut. These are practicing Orthodox type Jews. That war will never end. So when I hear whiteness speak that way, it just blatantly says we're just going to keep kicking ass until the end of time. And then every once in a while, I'll see if there's someone else out there who might be able to add on to the team. but it's hard. It's really hard because you feel the attack. But I can sit here and call myself a nigga all day and say crazy shit about my own people. Like that should tell you a lot. I'm willing to, I want to make sure my own people are doing what they're supposed to do. Jesus was he wasn't an amalgamation. He was not white. Brendan, you're an amalgamation. The question is if you have psychosis. And of course Jesus existed. Like what the of course Jesus existed. Right, you're always telling someone. The thing is, Brendan, the white folks are always the people to tell someone about this is not your land. So I'm trying to explain to you that there are things that you don't know because it's not your land. So you're not, you have the psychosis. Damn, that's too bad. And I feel sorry for when people do. I'm not gonna lie. Because you want, I don't know. Let me go ask if you believe it. Because it's the same. This is all the same stuff. Like, and he's talking about worried about people, like a book dealing with people across the water. I'm not African. Like, I'm not African. You want to talk about places that are not my background. They have their own history and story. They have what happened to them. And they'll correct you. Like the stuff you're even saying, go right to Africa, and those Aborigines there will correct all the shit you're saying about Ethiopia. Like you don't know anything. You have to ask the people who truly are that thing. So you came into an Aboriginal space, okay? You ask a question, right? You ask questions, and I'm telling you what it is. Now, I go over to your sites. I ask you a question about what you know based on who you are. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I go and I research, like, yeah, I found what you're talking about. So all he had to do was stop right before, let's see, where he fucked himself. And he's got Jehovah, like, because then like etymology and stuff, like, then I'd have to explain to him that English is not English, that that was a language we were speaking here. Ask the Irish, not the Irish here. And they, I mean, they tweaked it hardcore because the way you hear us speaking it and our slang and everything is how it's spoken. But it's too bad. These people are going to just keep dropping bombs on each other. Listen, Aborigines, y'all know we ain't dropping bombs on shit. As we are, it's like when you already know the truth, who has the energy for that silly war? We're just trying to keep everybody alive. Our people. That's it. We can't fix your psychosis, Brendan, and you have it. That's official. So it's sad, but you have it. I mean, look at this. I mean, wow, you have it. And I pray you find Jesus. Jesus is an Aborigine. I don't have to look for that which is within me. It's not within you, but you've taken on Jesus, who was not made for whites. Jesus wasn't made for whites. That's so interesting, but enjoy that. You do have psychosis, unfortunately. It'd be nice if my psychiatrist could go ahead and diagnose you. So many people can be diagnosed. It's easy. Because then we know who we need to lock up in the prisons. Like, so Brendan would be somebody like we would need to lock up, because there's niggas acting a fool and going to jail, but then there's the white creature that has psychosis and you can't fix it. So one day we'll have to lock you into a prison until and that's why we get tired of people mixing with this amalgamation. Like, don't do it. It's not worth, you don't know what your outcome is going to be. This is psychosis. I can't fix this. And how do you tell a kid? But it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter to him, because he's being what he's supposed to be. Psychotic. He's being what he's supposed to be. So I can't argue with that. I can't change that. Science can't change that. Ask your own white scientist. Because I didn't even get a chance. Like he didn't make it to the part. Because where are we? 2 hours and a half in. I didn't even get to the part where I talk about the fish gene. That your own scientists are trying to figure out why you have a fish gene. I didn't get that far. So, you see how unexceptional that is? Like I told you, there are people who have made it 8 hours. Look, have a good day. And that's how white people do stuff. That's how the white psychosis is. Have a good day, Pete. Like, what do you do? That's crazy. And I pray you find Jesus is not for you because you have psychosis. And he knows that you are one of the white creatures, as I call them. You're one of the white creatures. Jesus is not for you. There's nothing, and unfortunately, aside from what is miraculous, he can't even vibrate. A person who vibrates fast can, you wonder why people of color, Aboriginals, can take a lot. We vibrate and our frequency is so different from yours. So he's fed up at 2 hours and something in. I'm still sitting here. If he had sat there for 10 hours, I would have sat here for 10 hours. I'm an Aborigine. He doesn't have the makeup because he has psychosis. And that's just, I can't change it. And I think this is also good for my own people. I've never done this on YouTube before. Like I said, I used to do it on Twitch. It's a great tool. So I'll leave all of his stuff so you can study it and see how I research and figure out if it's a white human or a white creature. So this is a white creature, unfortunately. And they outnumber the white human. Because, and I would say, don't ever waste your time disrespecting your parents. I say that to Aborigines as well. Why waste your energy? You understand the system. You understand the difficulties. That means you have to mess with them, right? But you already understand. Or you have got a lot of brainwashing and propaganda in there, and the veil hasn't been lifted. And that's the one thing I can say about, I can't say all HBCUs, but I will speak for Tuskegee University when I was there, okay? And the books that the white folks don't have access to. The archives, the dusty archives, where they can find out about themselves from their own people. Remember, these books I'm talking about, their own people wrote. I'm reading the diaries. I'm reading them eating each other. I'm like, I'm reading this. So you've published it to where we've got it over here. The Vatican has all of it. So it's not a secret. Okay? And that's a creature. But the Vatican creature, okay, is all for this game and loves to watch people like Brendan get their assholes ripped open. Meanwhile, they leave niggas like us because it's very entertaining because they know who we are. The Vatican knows who we are. No, we're not African. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sitting here quoting the numbers, whether you're researching it from a white space or an Aboriginal space. I'm looking at one of the things, the 5%, that was written by the white people. By the time they got here, it was just 5% of the Africans got here. And you can prove that to yourself by going to Africa, and they didn't even know that there were people over here who were enslaved. They didn't even know. So, but you'd have to get beyond 2.5 hours, right? And then that's a lot of, I mean, that's a lot of free information, resources that I'm giving that I have had to spend a lifetime cultivating and dissecting and piecing together. And I give it, and I give it for free, right? And this is why I always say that if you don't charge for it, it doesn't mean shit. That's because of the psychosis of the people who run the money system. But you tell some niggas, look, free information is right the fuck over there. You're gonna have a good number, even if they don't think about it till 5, 10 years later, and they're finally out of whatever and whatever party mode. I don't feel like I studied all my life. It's like, where was that information? Because something happened to me the other day. Boom. That's how Aborigines function. But with the white creature, it's just, you can see it. And this is nothing. I mean, it's one little person. I've had I do this with the whole groups of like, and see if they can you make it 8 hours and still be exceptional. I let you start off when it comes to my lectures out in the real world. When I'm walking about, I'm just going to assume that you got the psychosis, and that'll keep me safe. Just assume. Don't set myself up. But online, I'll with my lectures, I will give the benefit of you're exceptional, and then I'll watch you show yourself to be unexceptional like that. And they can't help it, people. And like my psychiatrist has said, you can't fix it. It's in the DNA. It has something to do with the fish gene and everything else. So, his heart is bleeding out for people across the ocean, but his white people here in America are having a hard time. That's sick. That's sick. You take care of home first. Because right, white people in your airplanes and everything, right? Put your mask on first before you can help the next person. All the little laws you make up. You have so many laws, and I'm assuming they make sense to you. But when it comes to actually living proof of it, you won't live it. But you'll lock people up for it. That's why they like, free my guys, free the hots, wherever it is you're from, when you looking for, because the majority of them belong behind bars because they're unexceptional and they're dangerous, and they're letting in strangers who are harming us because our bodies have a different makeup from theirs, and there's more richer resources in our bodies than theirs. So it's the acceptance, I guess, then of he's like, yeah. Because I'm like, hate, even when it's like hate, why does it always have to be like hate? No, it's common sense. It's kindness. It's, yeah, he could have said somewhere here, yeah, my people did take your land, and that shit's fucked. And if I were you, yeah, I'd want to make sure that my people got what they deserved, especially after I just told him, we kept your white women. We wouldn't let them get back on that boat with you the first time because we saw how disgusting you were after we healed you. So I'm telling you, you're here because we healed your women. And you're talking about your mom, but then it just doesn't add up. But Aboriginal stories add up. When people are like, you black people always, be like, yeah, acting a fool. But when it comes to having you being the platform yourself as an Aborigine, and them coming to you with all this learned stuff, like from a book that their parents didn't write. Their own parents didn't write these books. But you can tell them about all the historical letters in your family and all the handing down the stories, And I'll go to all levels. Like there's UFO in here. I'll speak on all these things that are not weird things. They're just real. So if I'm able to go there with you, like you're not crazy. Like those things are real. And then I'm telling you, I'm real, meaning I'm not the lie you thought. I'm not the African you thought. And that's an insult to the Africans. It's an insult because they're beautiful in their own selves, just like the Aboriginals in Australia are beautiful unto themselves. The Aboriginals in India are beautiful unto themselves. They're separate tribes, and I would never, let me be clear, I would never try to move to Australia. I would never try to move to Africa. I would never try to move anywhere and occupy another Aboriginal space. I also am not going to go to any, remember now, this whole space really is my space. So I'm not talking about white folks here. I can go wherever I want, white people. You gotta understand that this is my Aboriginal. God has my back. And that's what you're not getting. That's what he's not getting. He didn't get it. He over here talking about Jesus. Who's higher? God. And that's all CERN keeps getting his ass kicked with is God. Like, oh shit, it's God. It's God. And it's weird to watch like a lot of, I don't know. Listen, I'm just so blessed to be an Aborigine, and I hope my little thought of today have just come, I mean, random, y'all. This was random. Because I really fucks not with really doing this. But when the spirit moves me, when God moves me, I go and I do a thing. And I just do. Because when I don't, things don't go right. And so I think with a lot of stuff I do have going on, this was great. Reminder, I have something I can send people to on YouTube. So I still have all my Twitch stuff, but it's not up on Twitch. I took it down. I can point them in the direction of understanding what I mean by the white human and the white creature. This is a white creature, and it can be very deceiving. It's so close, like, and they can deceive you for a long time. 8 hours really isn't enough, but most of them will weed themselves out really fast because they're really hard pressed about it. Like hard pressed. I don't focus on what's going on in the world. Well, you obviously do, because you were just saying you feel bad about motherfuckers you never met. But you don't care about the fact that I just said to you, I'm your neighbor. That's all I'm saying, that I'm your neighbor. And I'm going to tell you the truth because it's important that my neighbors are doing well. Because if my neighbors aren't doing well, that can fuck up my life. He just totally, all that just totally didn't just let go of that a long time ago. Ma'am, I'm not your ma'am. I'm not your we don't do that. I'm not your mammy. I'm not your mama. I'm not your man. I'm actually Princess Nikki. But I'm gonna let you continue. And I mean a tribal princess. A real one, not like I'm making up some fake shit. I'm not your ma'am, but you would never know, right? Or you could just, MissNikkiAnn, it's good. I kept calling him by his name. Did I not? So this is how they take the language that we taught them, and this is what they do with it. Ma'am, I don't care what man did. He just said, I don't care what Aborigines did. That's what that means. Because whites are humans. So, ma'am, I don't care what Aborigines did. But you're here because of us, because we saved your mothers. And you didn't even thank me. So that I can then go and pray and think and let the ancestors know that you are thankful. The same as if any of my white neighbors does something for me, I say thank you. Right? I care what Jesus and God did. he created the person you were talking to before he created your people. Your people came from an amalgamation. Let me be clear. I'm sorry. He created us, and then you came from an amalgamation. So God is like, I don't know who he's talking to. God is not your father, because you're not, you have the psychosis. I just care what God, you have the psychosis. You don't have God. There's, when we say eternity, when you pass, it's over. Let's put it like that. It's the best way to put it. And that energy will be placed back to the beast. And it'll just cycle through. I care what Jesus and God did. So Jesus and God created me. I'm here explaining to you how it went, and that you can also find your own white people who have been to the Vatican and looked at the files and saw all of us Aborigines and know the whole story. And I'm telling you what they said, and I'm telling you what I already know. And you're going to tell me the exact opposite, but you're 20 something and you haven't been and haven't researched, because you're only talking about your whiteness. I'm trying to tell you that your whiteness is an illness. Whiteness is an illness, it's an amalgamation, it's not healthy. So I'm trying to tell you about figuring out if you're amalgamation with a psychosis, or if you just have, or if you're just an albino. You are thoroughly a white creature. You're not a white human. So you have there's no God. He didn't create you. He didn't create you. He didn't create your psychosis. Okay? Um, Open-minded. It has nothing to do with being open-minded. This is what I'm saying. You know a white creature because it talks about the mind a lot. We talk about frequencies and vibrations. And in that book that he's talking about, that's what it talks about. And it's like in the Bible, there's a story, since he won't talk about the Bible, where God says to send the singers. Notice that when the white man is at war, he brings the drum. He doesn't win. He doesn't win. He's never won any war, but he thinks he has. He thinks he has. Because if he had, we wouldn't be here. The Aborigines. You haven't won. You're not going to. The story doesn't end in you winning. But also, I don't care, because you have a psychosis and I wouldn't want you anywhere near me. So now I know that this particular thing, I'm going to call you a thing, is a white creature. It's not like the white humans I know, who are very exceptional and would read through this and they wouldn't even waste time, laugh and walk off. They're not going to have, look at this. I'm scrolling, I'm realizing like, wow, dude. And show this to my psychiatrist so she can have a good laugh, and it'll just, the kind of research we do, it just stamps it more. People are researching you to show you to yourself, so that those who aren't white creatures and they are truly white humans and just albinos, that we can help to get you away from the creature. But it takes a lot, and they're very hard to find. I mean, I found that there was a point where I no longer could find any, and the ones that are exceptional, they're in my life. So, and none of this is just crazy. And so, welcome to the Wild Wild West, people. So-called elections are coming, and we've got strangers running amok, white creatures who have psychosis. They Brendan, he didn't get to the part where I could tell him about how they released the people from the psych prisons. And those are the people who are here. But he's worried about how they feel. Like their feelings. They feel like Brendan, they want your fucking money. They want everything you have. Or they wouldn't have left where they were. Silly. Like, that's common sense. A little black kid could tell you that. I always tell my psychiatrist, I feel sorry, for your kids. Which made me go laugh a little bit because I'm like, it's because, Aboriginal children are smarter. And it just is what it is. She ain't say no, right? But that's because she's unexceptional. I mean, I'm sorry, my God help us all. She's exceptional. And with her little woolly curly hair, it looked just like an albino. And the way she is and the way she presents and the way, like, I think this 15, 16 years it's been, I have not caught her out there in any of this that he dropped in 2 hours. This is crazy. All right, I'm gonna go now. So I've had ones that were more fun and more challenging, but we did our thing. Be careful, Aborigines. I'm telling you about the amalgamation. Research it. Research the fish gene that the white scientists found. There's also Mud Fossil Universe. There's so many people doing independent stuff that leads me to say, be very cautious with your body and what you mate with. You could create a beast like Brendan. Be good, be patient, be in the moment. And I love my Aborigines of this place that they call the USA. And I just love Aboriginal people, period. And those who are losing their fucking minds, I just pray you get it the fuck together. I mean, like, buck wild losing your minds. I'm not talking about no shit even from in the, no. I mean, the ones who are now holding artillery, military shit off in other countries. Once you pick that up, your vibration goes low, and you can't win that battle without a certain frequency and vibration. Picking up a piece of metal will bring that frequency and vibration down. That is not how you win it. But again, I'm not going to cross the ocean and bother you. That's for you to figure out. I'm here to help my people and make sure that I tell them that they shouldn't covet what you have and come and occupy your land, that you need your resources just as much as we would like to be left alone to fix and repair the resources that God gave us.